aunties. So we have been having a couple of discussions, and I'm having to break mine up because of when I record anything over 14, a little over 14 minutes, I have to upload another way, and it takes forever, and sometimes I can't get it uploaded. So I'm trying to stay up under that time. So let's just get right on into it. When I left off, we were talking about impulsive buying, I think, and then silicones. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so I talked about how I choose my reborns. So now I'm going to talk about how I choose my silicones, which, let me be specific, silicones are so expensive. I can only have a very limited amount of silicone babies. Like, it takes a lot. Like, now I can't remember what all I mentioned in which video, but with Zoe, I sold about 5 of my reborns to get Zoe, and they were like 5 of some of my favorite reborns to get Zoe. I didn't even know what silicone I was gonna get. I just knew that it was gonna require a lot of money, and I think I got a really good buy for her because she was secondhand. But still, it was a lot more than a reborn, and I knew I can just spend that. And then I don't like doing layaway, and layaway is fine with these type of costs. I think layaway is sometimes a must or needed. But at that time, I was just like, I don't want to have to do layaway, so let me sell off as many, reborns as I can and save up so I could get me a really nice silicone baby. And I didn't know which one I would get. I didn't think that it was going to be possible for me to get a Claire baby, but the opportunity presented itself, which kisses and hugs and love to Dana, because I was able to adopt Zoe through her. And that's probably one of the other hidden reasons of why I have like taken her down and said, oh no, I'm not going to sell her, because I feel like it was just such a blessing to be able to get her. But anyway, so with that, all that being said, just keep it in mind that I can't go out and buy a whole bunch of silicone babies. I think at this point I'll be a little bit more particular, being that I've had Amy Strickland, Lorna Miller Sands, Roz Bailey, and Angela Wilkins, and now Claire Taylor. I've had from those 5 artists, I've had 3 from Roz Bailey. And then the other ones, the Lorna Miller Sands was a Boo Boo Baby. Amy Strickland was a partial. Oh, I'm sorry, and I left off Rachel Farrell, which was a partial. And Angela Wilkins was a full body, a bigger baby. So let me tell you guys one of the major things that I do not like with silicone babies that I look out for. Now, on this camera, she looks very gap-legged, but I don't like babies that legs go out, and I don't want to do her like that, but they just like open, flat open like that. It's not realistic. Babies do tend to be balled up and everything, but I don't like it when they're just like open, like butterfly open. I don't like that. I don't like it because it's hard to dress them with pants and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I look at. It was one of the things I knew was going to be a problem for me, but I thought because the baby was so beautifully painted and it was poured by Claire that I would get over it with the one reborn I had. One of the silicones I had. But I see a lot of people like that, and I don't like the real froggy legs. I think they're cute, but I think over time I will get annoyed with it. So I'm very particular about the body structure of silicones. So that's what I look at. This is one of my quirky things. And I'm about to show girly parts, but I have to do this for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. And maybe I should turn her to the side. I love to see a silicone being changed and it look realistic. And if their legs and body is not flowing right, like realistically, when you change their diaper, it looks awkward. It doesn't look realistic. I like to be able to, you see when I pull her legs up, it looks like I'm holding a real baby like that. I don't, and that's another thing, the softness of the silicone. I thought I wouldn't like too soft of silicone. Now, Claire pours in a mix, so she doesn't, all you know is that it's a platinum silicone. She doesn't call it Equiflex 2030 or whatever, unless it's one of her blank kits. Then she'll do it like the basic, which even still, like, I'm sure it probably feels really, really nice. But when she does her full body, she pours in all different mixes. And so I like that. See how her legs can close and open, and it's with ease too, you know. So I look at that with the baby, the shape of the body. One of the things that I learned over time, I thought that I would only love a full body baby. That's one, when I say full body, one piece, I mean to say, like where there's no jointed head or anything, the whole head, everything is full body. Lorna Miller Sands does that, and I want to say she does a fabulous job at that because hers are still floppy and everything, but I had one that wasn't. So I'm kind of iffy about that. I think everything depends on the individual artist. So that's why, even though artists do pictures and all that, I always go looking for a collector that might be on YouTube or something like that have a baby, because when I'm interacting with my babies, you guys are able to see movement and different things with her, and that's what I'm looking at when I'm, you know, looking at other people's videos and stuff. I'm looking at the movement of the doll and trying to get a feel for it, because with silicone, the sad part about it is you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars for a baby only to get it home and hate it. And I know I don't want to scare people off, but it's crazy because what's so funny about silicone is that they can photograph really well, most of them, and you can miss so many flaws and blemishes and boo-boos and uh-ohs and wha-ohs and stuff on camera and stuff like that. So I like to see collectors videos because they don't edit most of the time. We're not fancy enough to know how to do all that. Well, I'm not. So you kind of get to see the real thing, you know, raw and uncut. And so I'm very particular about that. And now, and the other thing that I realized that with silicone, a lot of them are not well proportioned. So I'm always, you know, trying to look at that too. And that's one of the other things that I love about Claire babies, is that they're very well proportioned. I've had some that was almost proportioned, but something was a little off. Like maybe their feet are a little too small, or their feet are a little too big, or their head is way big. That was one of my issues with one of the ones that I had. The head was so huge, and then the body was like this size. And it was just like it bothered me so bad. And so I of course I let that one go. But so I love a perfect shape. That's another thing. I love a perfect shape. And I think I said this in another video. I love a perfect shape, and that's even with my reborn. So I love a perfect shape newborn size head. And if I'm spending top dollar on a silicone, I like for it to be rooted, and I hope that it's rooted deep, because when they're rooted deep, they don't lose hair. Like she doesn't lose hair, not enough for me to notice anyway, I should say that. But there's a way around the rooting if you get a nice enough doll and the artist is not great at directionally rooting and stuff like that. If you get really curly hair, you won't see the flaws in the rooting technique, and then it just looks still as good. So it's ways around that. So I won't pass out about that part, but it does need to look nice. But I now look at the hands, the way that the fingers are tipped and the hands are did. I'm very particular about the hands and the feet. I wasn't at first when I first started collecting silicones because I didn't have the money, and I still don't have the money. I have to sell a whole lot. Like, I've sold a lot of dolls right now because I've just been selling in hopes that I want another either really nice reborn baby or another silicone. But whatever it is, I know it's probably going to be pricey because reborns have gotten so high too. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just sell off as many reborns as I can and just keep saving the money up until something comes up. Rather it be secondhand. And that's another thing. If I buy secondhand, it has to be somebody that I'm followed for a while and I know that they, you know, take care of their babies, or they, you know, they have a high reputation with their dolls and the people that have bought from them before. I'm not into trades. I think trades are very risky. So I'm not into trades. But yeah. Other thing I look at is if they can take a full passy or if they could take a pacifier. Believe it or not, there's some silicone babies, like partial kits I've seen, that cannot take a pacifier. And that will be a no-go for me. I need them. And I love the realism of ears and stuff. So I kind of now, I think I've become a little bit more picky. And it's not that I think I'm all that or nothing like that. It's just come with, in time, you grow through collecting. And you just get to a point where if you, once you've had a really nicely done baby before, you kind of don't want to go backwards. Not to say that I won't support newer artists or, you know, that's doing really well, you know, and prices are fair. I think I would still purchase from them. But if I'm going to save up and invest, I want to invest in something that's going to hold their value for the most part and be worth collecting. Because at the end of the day, they are collectibles. And I think you have to look at them as like investments. Because of the price that these dolls cost, it makes no sense to dump thousands into something that will only be worth hundreds, you know, within 6 months after you having it. Unless you plan to keep that particular doll forever, or something significant about it, like it looks like your child or your grandchild or you, or something that just draws your heart in and you don't care if it's not worth anything but it's worth a whole lot to you, then that's different. So everybody collect for different reasons and collect different ways. But when I'm now, the more I get into it and the more I research and look around and see how things work, I prefer to try to get some type of quality. And I'm not saying that Claire Taylor is the only quality silicone baby out there, because she's not. There are nice, you know, artists out there. Of course, there's Romy Stridham, and you can always spend a good $20,000-$25,000 for one of those. And I would have to sell a house, a car, or something. But Romy dolls are nice. As it's known that I prefer Claire dolls over Romy dolls. I think Claire puts a little bit more detail in her dolls. Well, a lot more detail, but that's just my preference. Everybody has their right to opinion. But there are other artists out here that I like. I love Olivia Stone babies. I think she doesn't put a whole lot into her painting, but the bodies are so fabulous and they're so cute. I just love them. So there it is about silicone. I want to, this video is going to probably go over because I don't feel like breaking it up. But yeah, so I didn't think I would like the jointed heads, but Zoe has a jointed head, a ball jointed head, and so that makes a nice, it's still nice because it's connected nicely. It looks natural to me. I like it because I can turn her head. And then, come here, mama. So what I like about it that I found that was difficult when I had full bodies is when I got ready to lay them down, their head would be like that. and then it looks like it's suffocating and it doesn't look good. But I can